In honor of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, we're shining a spotlight on Disney legend Tyrus Wong. And here to help us is researcher Doug Engalla from the Walt Disney Animation Research Library. Thank you so much for being here, Doug.
Hi, Jenny and Andre. Thanks for having me here.
So, Doug, for any viewers who may not know, can you tell us a little bit about the Walt Disney Animation Research Library and what you do there as a researcher?
The Disney Animation Research Library is the home to more than 60 million pieces of art that is created for the production of an animated feature and short film, a collection that spans almost 98 years of the studio's history.
Wow.
I really hope to visit someday.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you there.
Tyrus Wong is a Disney legend and a hugely influential Asian American artist. What should people know about Tyrus?
Tyrus was born in Taishan, China. He immigrated with his father to the United States when he was only 9 years old. And as part of his upbringing, his father insisted that Tyrus practice traditional Chinese calligraphy. He won a scholarship to Otis Art Institute in Los Angeles, a school which he did very well. And he eventually came to the Walt Disney Studios, where he first worked on animated shorts as an in-betweener. Being an animation in-betweener means that you draw all the poses that happen between the key poses of an animator. So Tyrus noticed that the studio was planning on adapting Felix Salten's book Bambi, A Life in the Woods, and this appealed to Tyrus's sensibilities as a painter of landscapes. Tyrus's work found its way in front of Walt Disney. And when Walt saw Tyrus's work, he was immediately enthralled with what he saw. And Tyrus began working primarily in concept and visual development art on the Disney classic Bambi. So a lot of Tyrus's original work is housed in the Disney Animation Research Library. And I got a few of them to show to you today.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to see it.
So this is a rough layout drawing from early in the story of the film. A layout is a kind of a blueprint for creating the stage for the animated character's action. That includes the type of mood and lighting for that scene. So this is a visual development piece for a sequence in the film. The objective of visual development is to explore the overall look and mood for different parts of the story. Tyrus liked the dreamy and ethereal style, and that was influenced by traditional Chinese art. He liked to juxtapose the scale of nature to the living creatures. But what he didn't know during the production of Bambi was that his style of art, which is very impressionistic, as you can see here, was being followed closely by the background artists. So much so that Tyrus was credited as a background artist, even though he didn't actually paint backgrounds for the film. It's funny because he was never influenced by the Chinese art until he came to the United States. He was so young that he didn't have that opportunity. He actually discovered it while he was just walking home from art school.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's really neat because then it reconnected him to his culture and his roots.
It did.
It's very dreamy.
It is. We always considered this to be a background painting. The paintings of that time were almost never signed either. So we never had the artist attribution for this painting, at least not until the documentary of Tyrus's life was in production. Someone had sent over a still photo of Tyrus that showed that he was painting this exact piece. Without that photo, we would never have known that it was his. But when you look more closely, it's definitely his work.
Wow.
You were able to figure that out decades before social media. That's impressive.
Yeah, it was kind of accidental detective work.
How long did Tyrus work for the Walt Disney Studios?
You know, he was only there for 3 years, and it was just for that film Bambi, but it's unquestionable that his impact on that film had shaped the future of the studio. Tyrus spent his entire life creating beautiful watercolor paintings, pastel art, and he was named a Disney legend in 2001, and he lived to be 106 years young.
Wow, that is amazing.
What have you learned about the history of representation at the studio, and why do you think it's so important to preserve the work of artists like Tyrus Wong?
Walt Disney was always interested in finding talent that played to their strongest attributes. And it didn't matter where you or your family came from. As long as you excelled at what you did, you were always included. Tyrus's contribution to the look and feel of Bambi makes this film stand out from the others. I mean, you can look at a frame of the film and you know it's Bambi, thanks to Tyrus. It's important to remember that such a beautiful film was influenced by the work of a Chinese immigrant who loved to draw.
That's really special.
It really is, yeah. It's just a reminder of just when you listen to so many different voices, you can come up with different influences, inspirations you may never even thought of before.
That's what's so special about art, is about how we look at the world with a certain eye and appreciation for what we sometimes don't see.
Well, we appreciate your work as well
Yes.
with what you're doing at the Walt Disney Animation Research Library. Thank you so much, Doug, for all the work that you're doing. Keeping this animation history preserved is so important.
Thank you, Andre and Jenny. It's been my honor to talk about Tyrus and his legacy to Disney animation.
You can stream Tyrus Wong's incredible work in Bambi right now on Disney+.